Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we get into what we're going to talk about today, I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone who's been watching it. I know it's a couple of you here and there. It's been great. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so my topic for today that I really wanted to talk about was love. When we talk about love, I think the biggest key factor we have to look at is what is love, right? What is our identification? What is our definition of love, and where does it come from? So for me, being a girl of Christ, a follower of Christ, it definitely comes from the root of God. God is love. And for most of you, or some of you at least, that might not feel like something you would correlate love to, right? There's many things that people think love to be, but at its core, it is based around God. So what do I mean by that, right? Why is God love? What I always look at is the very classic Bible verse of 1 Corinthians 13. We always like to reference to this one about, love is patient, love is kind, love believes all things, endures all things. And that's really what it is, because I firmly believe that love is a choice. Like, I have a choice to love my parents. I have a choice to love my pets, right? I have a choice to love myself even. And so the choices that we make every single day pretty much make us who we are. Like, one day I could love myself, and the next day I don't love myself, right? So one day I can love my situation, the next day I could not love my situation. And each one comes with its consequences. One being one of a very full heart, and the other feeling empty. We neglect to love ourselves or love where we are in our life, that it begins to get very dark. And again, this is why we say that God is love, right? He is the light of my life, and he truly gives me a way out when I feel like there isn't a way out. So when we think of like love is patient, love is kind, that's just part of its definition. Like, even on a non-biblical sense, it's hard to define what love is because it comes so differently, and it comes in so many different forms. Our parents, friends, and of course our relationships with people, and the more intimate relationships, right, when we become married and share intimacies with our husband or wife. And so it changes, but it's still consistently the same, right? Love is patient, love is kind. Patience is a choice, and it's not an easy choice. Patience does take sometimes a lot of time before it can really be developed in the way that is nurturing. Patience is definitely something that gets built up on, and it doesn't come easy, but it's so worth it. Another thing is love is kind, sacrificing oneself for another, being gentle, meek, right? Meek is not weakness. Let's make sure we make that clear. And even gentleness, right? Gentleness is simply strength under control. And this is so crucial, especially when it comes down to our male counterparts, our husbands, our future husbands, is having that ability to be gentle, especially where it counts towards the wives, towards the children, and the women too. To be gentle, to be nurturing, sometimes doesn't really come natural to women, and that's okay. There are women who are more natural caretakers, maternal instincts kind of kick in, but that's a whole nother story. Love really is God. He's so patient with us, so kind to us, even when we don't feel like it's kind or it's a good thing. Everything that is done out of bad things, right? Something bad happens to you, ultimately is rewarded in some type of good, right? There's always not even a silver lining, but another side. You can't have light without darkness. You can't have evil without good. Those virtues simply point back to who God is. For my biblical girlies out there, for my biblical men that are maybe watching this video, Christ was formed. He existed with God, and way at the beginning of time. The really neat thing about Christ is that God had him as a son. God is so overflowing with love that it spilled out into Jesus, and ultimately it spills out onto mankind. We were created so that the love of Jesus Christ could flow out of him and onto us. It's a beautiful concept. The love of God, the love of Jesus Christ was just so overwhelming that he created us in order for that love to continue, right? And that's what we strive for, is to love as Jesus has and does and is already loving, sacrificing oneself, giving up everything for that person or for that belief even. It's a big calling, and it is a huge decision, and Christ has already done it for us. And that's honestly the most beautiful part about love, is we have the most perfect image of what love is and can be. Something that's super interesting too is, as you're on the walk with the Lord, right, with Christ, you begin to really understand what it means to love and be loved, right? Because God is the ultimate depiction of what love is and can be. I was just talking to my mother about when we have families that are torn apart. Divorce happens, maybe the mother's not really as loving or the father's not really as loving. There's some kind of iniquity amongst the love even in the family. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard it put like this, but when we see a family, right, we see the husband, the wife, and the children. To a daughter, a mother is a model. To a daughter, the father is love, how to be loved. I just came to the revelation that the mother is how to be loved, and the father is how to love. And the flip side really goes for the sons as well, right? The father is how to love, and the mother is how to be loved. Does that make sense? I'm pretty sure it does. That was something that just kind of clicked in my head, and maybe it's always been there. It really stood out to me in that when we have families that are torn apart, or the dads are not really in the picture, the moms aren't really in the picture, God is there. I mean, he encompasses everything because he is perfect. He is absolutely whole. And because man and woman comes from man, right? God is complete in every way, right? Man was made in his image, and then the counterpart, the partner, the helper, was the woman. Therefore, God, Christ being who he is, he has both virtues within him. I mean, he literally can teach us how to love and be loved. Things that are necessary to cultivate a proper bond between, anyone. And of course, he gives instruction as to what it looks like to be loved within the marriage. Super important. Every other type of love is simply a small tweak, right? Between a mother and her children, between a father and his children, between siblings, between best friends or friends, between other relatives, right? There are all these different types of love, and yet he instructs us on how we should treat every aspect of each type of love. And so, I was thinking about it with my mom, and I'm like, even if a father or a mother doesn't teach a kid how to love properly, right? Because maybe a divorce happened, or maybe the mother had some issues and couldn't really love properly, right? All kinds of things can happen within a family. God is there. God is that center. And ultimately, he is our commitment first, especially for us women, right? That's actually why I wear this little ring here. I am not married. Let me just say that. I am not married. I bought this for myself. This is really just a reminder of my commitment to the Lord first, and then to man. I strive every day to trust him with everything. And so this is just my commitment to him, and ultimately God is love. It's just that simple, and we want to construe it and make it harder to understand because we're human. We always want to think we know best, or we know what's right, and ultimately that's the pride of man. Humility comes with loving someone, right? When you care for someone, you love someone, especially in a marriage, you literally die to self every single day and live to literally serve the other person. Serve God first, but then you also give yourself to that other person. You lay down what you used to do or what you used to like for that other person, and vice versa, to cultivate each other, to bear one another's burdens, to become one flesh, right? You take in what they like and they take in what you like, and you build a bond, a strong bond, and especially with Christ at the center of love, literally teaching us how to love every single day. We always like to say it's much like a pyramid. The husband, the wife, and God. And it's always said, the closer that you get to God, the closer that you guys get to each other. And I love that depiction so much, because it truly puts into perspective marriage. And of course, that's a whole nother thing, but it relates to love. I don't really have as much context to go deeper into love, because I'm not really doing like a Bible study or anything, but God is love. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. So something I've seen in this world is just, we've construed love as a feeling, right? It means, to be loved is to be accepted. And although love does come with loving every part of someone, it does not mean to neglect when something is harmful to that person. What I mean by that, the fact that if something is harming someone, wouldn't we do everything we possibly could to stop it? If you truly love someone, would you not go the extra mile or literally go to war for them because of your love? Something that is unfortunate is, if we take a look at those who claim love is love, what is that? How do you define love? And when I say things are harming, what do we mean by harm, right? They may say, well, I'm not harming anyone. I'm just living my life. I'm just doing what I do. How am I hurting anybody? Right. You're not physically hurting anyone else but you, because it's really an internal battle. When we see these groups of people, the LGBT community, I have nothing but love for this group. I've had many friends who were LGBT, and I have friends even now who are still claiming to be part of that group, and I love them all very much. I have nothing against them, but ultimately I feel it's that there's hurt below the surface, and that's honestly for another topic, so we'll talk about that later on. But when we say love is love, it's just there isn't a definition, and it's not a subjective thing. In order to love in a way that is cultivating or fruitful or bringing life, it's objective. It sounds weird, right? Because it's objective, but it's also subjective. But there is an order to it. It's not just left up in the air. There is a way to go about it. It just looks different or operates different, but it all is pretty much the same thing. Especially with this group, I know many of them have been hurt by the church and whatnot, or there's many things they've said, many colorful things they have said about God himself. And I understand that. It's not something that should be forced onto someone. It truly comes with a revelation by God. Only you and him know. A cultivation of your relationship with Christ is very different than the actual religious basis. It's hard to correlate that to those who are not in the faith or who don't have a relationship with Christ. But this isn't to leave them out. We should continue to love them, even if they don't understand what it means, or they know what it means, they just don't say the truth about what it means. Pray for them. Always pray for those who are not of the faith. Pray for those who are of the faith and are still struggling. Constantly pray for them. That's just a very brief statement as to what I feel that love is. This is just to put my opinion out there. I would love to hear what you guys feel about what love means to you. God is love. If you don't know how to love someone or be loved, seek Christ and read it in scripture. It's all there. It's all there. And practice it, right? Practice what we preach. Really put into practice how to love one another through everything. Try and show that you care, even sometimes more than you love. To care, to be concerned is a form of love, and so we shouldn't neglect that. Yeah, guys, that was a pretty short topic. I will go more into it as we go along. I wanted to share that part about how I feel concerning love. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll definitely be doing more. I'm gonna get through this editing and we'll get this posted as soon as possible. So alright guys, until next time, bye.